There are people who seem completely untouchable. Chaos surrounds them. Insults land. Plans collapse. And they just don't react. Not because they don't feel, but because nothing outside them has power over. What's inside them? What is their secret? And more importantly, can you learn it? Subscribe if you're new. Every week we break down psychology in ways you can actually use. Most people live their entire lives reacting. Someone cuts them off in traffic, instant rage. A colleague makes a snide comment, ruined day. A stranger's glance triggers self-doubt. We call this being sensitive. Jung called it something else entirely. He said most people are prisoners of their own reactions, convinced the world is causing their suffering, when in reality they are simply projecting their inner conflicts outward. And here is the uncomfortable truth Jung discovered. Nothing can hurt you unless it finds something inside you to hook onto. If an insult makes you angry, somewhere deep down you fear it. Jung said it plainly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Everything that irritates you about others is a map of what you haven't yet faced in yourself. This is the hardest truth in psychology, and the most liberating one. Here is the paradox that most people miss entirely. The more desperately you try to control the world around you, the more power you give it over you. The moment you need someone's respect, that person now controls you. The moment you need a situation to go a certain way, that situation now controls you. The moment you need life to be fair, you have handed your piece to something that will never reliably deliver it. Jung understood what cognitive science has since confirmed. The world is neutral, not good, not evil, not designed to help or hurt you. It simply is. The color you painted is entirely yours. Two people face the same devastating loss. Same event, same circumstances. One collapses, one rebuilds. The difference is not what happened. The difference is what each person believed about what happened. As Jung wrote, what you resist persists. What you accept transforms. So what does this actually look like in practice? Imagine someone shouts an insult at you on the street. Most people feel the surge instantly. Heart rate spikes, jaw tightens, mind races, replaying the words for hours. Now imagine a completely different response. Not suppression, not numbness, just observation. You notice the surge arising. You watch it like a scientist watching an experiment. Interesting. Something in me just reacted. What does that reaction tell me about myself? This is the gap between stimulus and response. The Stoics trained for it. Zen masters devoted lifetimes to it. Jung built an entire psychology around it. In that gap, you are free. Not because the words didn't land, but because you chose what to do with them. Why do most people find this so hard? Because of what Jung called the false self, a fragile construction built entirely from other people's opinions, external approval, and attachment to specific outcomes. When someone attacks that construction, it doesn't feel like criticism. It feels like annihilation, like an attack on identity itself. And that is why people react so violently to things that objectively don't matter. The insult from a stranger shouldn't matter, but it does because somewhere in the shadow, there's a wound that those words just touched. Not a new wound, an old one, already there. The words didn't create the pain. They revealed what was already present. Jung's concept of the shadow is not mystical. It is practical. The shadow is everything you have pushed away. The fears, the insecurities, the parts of yourself you rejected because someone once told you they were unacceptable. And here is how you know the shadow is running you. When someone effortlessly controls your emotions, they hold the key to a part of yourself you have not yet reclaimed. The person who can make you angry in seconds knows exactly which unhealed part to press. The situation that destroys your peace is touching an expectation you're gripping too tightly. The criticism that haunts you for days is landing on a belief about yourself you haven't yet examined honestly. This is not about becoming cold, not about walls, not about indifference. Emotional detachment, as Jung defined it, is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of awareness. You feel everything. You are simply no longer controlled by what you feel. Think of a chessboard. Most people live as chess pieces, reacting to every move the opponent makes, completely inside the game. The next level is becoming the player, seeing the whole board. The highest level is becoming the observer, watching the game from outside it entirely, knowing that whatever happens on the board does not define you. This is what Jung called individuation, becoming so rooted in who you actually are that the game can no longer play you. And here is what happens when you get there. People around you feel the shift. When you no longer need approval, others naturally begin to offer it. When provocations find no response, they stop coming. When you stop reacting, you stop being a target worth targeting. The negative loses its power the moment it finds nothing to attach to. You are not suppressing the storm. You have simply realized you are the sky, and the storm was never really about you. Neuroscience supports this entirely. Emotional reactivity is a habit. The brain builds neural pathways that make certain reactions automatic. The more you allow external things to move you, are you the chess piece, moved by every hand? Or the player, making deliberate choices? Or the observer, free from the outcome entirely? One shift in perception, that is all that separates these states. You do not control the world. You never did. But you have always controlled the one thing that matters most, how you see it. Start there. Everything else follows. If something in this video shifted something for you, drop a comment below. What is the trigger that shows up most often in your life? The one you wish you could stop reacting to? Share this with someone who needs it. And subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of psychology we unpack every single week. See you in the next one.